You've probably been told your whole life that getting rich is all about landing that massive salary, right? But what if I told you the real secret isn't about how much money you make, but where that money actually goes? Today, we're going to dive into some incredible insights from self-made millionaire Adam Koo and break down the one fundamental difference in how the wealthy handle their cash. So let's just get right to it with the big question. Does a high salary really make you rich? I mean, we're all taught to think so. You see a doctor, a lawyer, a top executive, and you just assume they must be wealthy. Of course they are. Well, today, we're going to completely challenge that assumption. And this belief, this idea that a big income equals wealth, well, author Adam Koo has a name for it. He calls it the biggest lie ever told about wealth. And it's an idea so baked into our culture that, honestly, it stops most people from ever reaching real financial freedom, no matter how hard they work. So what is this great wealth lie? It's the simple but dangerous idea that your paycheck size is your wealth. But in reality, it's more like a trap. See, as our income goes up, our expenses have this sneaky habit of going right up with it. A bigger salary leads to a bigger house, a fancier car, more expensive holidays. Sound familiar? And before you know it, you're right back at square one, just with more stuff to pay for. This brings us to a really important shift in how we think about this whole thing. If wealth isn't about the size of your paycheck, then what is it? What are we actually aiming for? Well, the key insight here is that real wealth isn't measured in dollars at all. It's measured in time. Okay, so here's the definition that really matters. Wealth is the number of months or even years you could keep living your current lifestyle if you stopped working tomorrow. It's not a number in your bank account. It's a measure of your freedom. So just take a second and ask yourself, how long could you last? That number, that's your true wealth. This slide just makes it so incredibly clear. Okay, on the left, you've got Steve. He's a super high earner, bringing in $20,000 a month. But look at his expenses, 18 grand. He is living right on the edge. His real wealth, it's 1 month. Now look at Susan. She earns way less, only 5 grand a month. But she manages her expenses, letting her build up her savings. If she stopped working, she could live for 40 years. So who's actually wealthier here? I mean, it's not even a contest, is it?
So the big question is, how do we become more like Susan and less like Steve? Well, it all comes down to understanding how money moves, or cash flow. And the source material breaks it down into 3 totally different patterns that separate the poor, the middle class, and the rich. Let's start with the first one.
Okay, pattern number 1. This is the most basic pattern. This is the cash flow that comes from what we'd call a poor mindset. And you'll see pretty quickly why it's basically a financial dead end. And yep, this chart shows you exactly why. The income from a job comes in, and it immediately goes straight back out to cover expenses. We're talking rent, food, bills, the works. So at the end of the month, what's the result? Always the same. Nothing left. With this pattern, building any kind of wealth is just mathematically impossible. All right, on to pattern number 2. Now, this is where things get interesting, because this is where most people live. This is the middle-class mindset. And on the surface, it looks way more responsible. I mean, there's saving involved, so it feels like you're making progress, but there's a hidden trap here that keeps people running on that financial treadmill forever. So here's how it usually works. You get your paycheck, you pay all your expenses first, and then you try to save whatever's left over. The real problem is what happens with those savings. See, they're often used to buy things called negative cash flow assets, like a nicer car or a bigger house. These things feel like assets. They feel like you're getting ahead, but they actually just crank up your monthly expenses. Higher payments, more insurance, more maintenance. And that creates this vicious cycle where your bills keep growing, which just keeps you chained to that paycheck. And that brings us to the third pattern, the rich mindset. And honestly, it's such a simple shift in the order of how money is handled, but it is a profound one. This little change in sequence, it makes all the difference in building real, lasting wealth. Just look at this. It's completely flipped on its head. Income comes in, and the very first thing that happens, before anything else, is a chunk, say 15 to 20%, gets saved and invested in positive cash flow assets. Then you live off of what's left. It's a total reversal. You're not saving what's left after spending, you're spending what's left after saving. You know, this entire mindset, this whole third pattern,
can really be boiled down to one single, incredibly powerful habit. If you can master this one thing, you can totally change your financial future.
And here it is. Pay yourself first. Now, this isn't just some catchy, feel-good phrase. It is a literal instruction. It means you treat your savings and investments like it's the most important bill you have to pay every single month. It's non-negotiable. It gets paid before the rent, before the car loan, before anything else. You are your own most important creditor. So what does paying yourself actually look like? It means you're putting that money into things that will make you more money. We're talking about positive cash flow assets, things like stocks that pay dividends, real estate that generates rent, or even building a side business. The goal here is to build a little army of assets that are all working for you, creating new streams of income that don't depend on your job. Now, I get it. This might sound really intimidating, right? Like you need a ton of cash to even get started. But the real magic of this whole approach, the secret sauce, is in the power of starting small and letting your money grow over time. The impact is, well, it's staggering. Just look at this number, $1.69 million. According to the example in the source material, if you invested just $300 a month over 30 years and got a hypothetical 15% annual return, it could grow to over $1.69 million. Now look, is a 15% return guaranteed? Of course not. That's really high. But that's not the point. The point is to show you the mind-blowing power of this one simple habit compounded over a long time. So when you boil it all down, it's a choice. Is your money going to keep flowing out to expenses first? Or are you going to redirect it first to assets that build your freedom? The final question isn't just about what you could do, it's about what you will do. What is just one positive cash flow asset that you can start learning about today?